Hello and welcome to yet another Facebook Live event with PME, and I think it's actually our fourth now, so a huge welcome. And as we've said, this is going to be some festive fun here with PME, and we're going to come up with some very quick and simple ideas. Personally, for one at Christmas, I'm always saying, just do something quick. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm always saying I'm going to have a go at this and I've got time for it, and then I never do. But all of these things, honestly, are so quick to do. Even honestly, I'm going to have a go this year, probably Christmas Eve, but I'm still going to get on and do it. So thank you for joining us, everybody, from around the world, because it is truly global here today. I'm actually joined by Silvio, who's on our camera or on our phone, and I've got Pat hiding in the corner over there as well. She knew I was going to drop her name into it, and I have. So a huge welcome from everybody here. And don't forget, we're looking for you to like and comment and interact with us. If you're a trade customer, don't be afraid to kind of talk to people that are interested in any products that they'd like to get hold of in time to create some of these very yummy bits and pieces that we're going to be creating today. So don't be afraid to say hello, and if we get the chance to, we'll do questions, we'll do some shout outs for you as well. How does that sound? Silvio's smiling, so I think he sounds like it's good, and thumbs up are coming through, I think, so it's time for us to get cracking. Now, Silvio, I don't know if you just want to have a glance across some of the things that we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be creating a little wreath onto a biscuit, so quick and easy, a little bit of piping, nothing too technical. We're going to create some trees based around some very yummy strawberries that we've got going on here that have been dipped in chocolate. Some simple poinsettias we're going to be doing, and we're looking at little stencils using brush and fine pen, and also some dusts over there as well. Simple trees, scroll tree as well. We've got the scroll trees just over there. And also I did mention the brush and fine pens that we're actually going to be using, and you can see these sets that Silvio will just show you just over there. There are 6 sets up for grabs, and 1 set of bold and 1 set of bright pens. Now this is because it was so successful last time, so one person only is going to have the opportunity to win that set after we finish this Facebook Live event. So to enter that, you need to like or comment either of those 2 things. If you feel like it, you could actually do both. It really doesn't matter. So I haven't got my Christmas jumper on, but I have got my tinsel on, and I've got my Santa hat on, so it's ho, ho, ho. And away we go. That was a bit cheesy, wasn't it? But hopefully you all liked that. Okay, so if I just bring in a couple of little samples over here, this is what we're going to look at to begin with, and Silvio can just home in on those for us while we get ready. And we're going to be looking at using a 22 star tube. Now you could do this onto your cupcake or onto just a basic biscuit, or you could just add it onto a very simple round biscuit, which is what we're actually going to be doing here today. Now, as you can see, I've got my tube in my bag. I'm just using disposables here today. It's nice and simple. And maybe if you wanted to create slightly smaller tubes, you might want to drop down to something like an 18 or something like that. And if Silvio needs a close-up in on that tube there, that's sitting there ready for you as well. So we're hoping to get through an awful lot of things here today. I've just popped a little blob of icing on here, and at the moment I'm actually using some royal icing. So that's just a royal icing mix, and again, very easy, so don't say you haven't got time. Into the mixer, add water, hey presto, job done. So you couldn't get any quicker than that. So I can see in the distance there, Pat's desperately holding up the boards that we've created. She's like a lollipop lady. She said she's got a shout out here, so here's a shout out. Go for it, Pat.
Hi everyone. Paula, just so you know, we've got hellos from Helena.
Hello Helena.
Norma from Grimsby.
Oh, brilliant.
And Geraldina from Holland.
Yay, that's great. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Pat. I'd like to say that the board worked really well. Okay, so I've just secured it on there a little bit. So most important, not too much icing in your bag when you're doing a bit of piping. And I tend to be a bit wobbly when I pipe, so I always secure with my other finger and make sure you're nice and comfy as you go. So then just squeeze down and work your way round. There we go. So you can see where the biscuit's thinking about tipping up. So I'm very glad that I did secure that down there. You are getting in close, aren't you, Sylvia? There we go. And then we can just add in some of the little red berries. Now this is probably where I'm going to drop all of these. So I am going to use my tweezers just to very carefully transfer those over. There we go. Again, I am using 2 hands. Always need to be comfy when you're doing this type of thing. And dropping them in here. Now you could jazz this up with a different colour if you wanted to. You could use silver or yellows, anything like that at all. So you can see how quick and simple and easy that was. So no excuses for me this year for not getting involved. Now, if I wanted to, I could just add in a slightly different tubing with a little leaf tube there. So I'm just using a 68. So I could, instead of using a holly plunger, I could just kind of add in an extra little leaf design going in on there, just to give it a little bit of texture. So a little bit of a wiggle and a little bit of a jiggle, just to add in some extra texture for yourself. And you could use any size tubing that you want to. So I'm just going to pop that down to one side. And that's how simple and quick and easy that was. Add in a little bit of luster spray for yourself if you want to go in with that as well. So just going to wipe away my icing that I've left on the top. And while Silvio just gets ready to bring in the next shot there for you, I shall bring in my cupcake ready for the next thing. Now, we were talking about strawberries earlier, and this tree here is actually, it's a whopper, isn't it? That's because it's got a very big strawberry sitting in there. Hang on a minute, everybody, we've got another shout out. Pat's working well in the corner. She's got the board and she's saying there's a shout out.
You're going to love this one, Paula.
Oh, okay, go for it, Pat.
Well, I think you might know somebody by the name of Steph.
Oh, hi, Steph.
But also Marista from Cape Town.
Oh, hello.
And also Andrea.
Wonderful. Hello to everybody, and thank you so much for shouting out, commenting and liking today, and tuning in to watch us as well. And don't forget, you could enter that competition, so don't be afraid to go for it. So here's our tree. I've got my strawberry. Here it is. Now look at this. It is big. I've just got to take the end off it. I've dipped it in some very yummy chocolate. And I'm just going to twist and take that out of the way and drop that down to one side. So here's our yummy strawberry. Now you could maybe pop a walnut whip in the middle instead, or just an ordinary chocolate. But because I think it's a bit yummy, we've just gone with some white chocolate on there. Help seal the strawberry as well. And to be honest, if you weren't wanting to add buttercream in around it, then you could just eat it as it is, I think. So I'll put some sugar paste on the top there, a little blob of icing, just to secure my strawberry. In it goes, there we are. And same tubing again that we've just used on our little wreath. See that there. So I'm just going to make sure that that's okay. Well, Silvio has a little look at that. Make sure that's clean. Again, don't overfill your bag. And I'm just going to go in at the side at the base and just pull away from the centre to the outside edge. And I'm just going to work my way round. So this is the base of the tree. I'm going to go as quick as I can, because time is always of the essence with these types of things. And this is my buttercream that I've swapped over to now. So again, I've got a nice white buttercream. You can make your own, but if you haven't got time, again, just like the easy royal icing, just pop the powder into your mixer, add water or milk if you prefer, and hey presto, job done. So you've got a very nice, lovely white icing that you can, if you want to, just add some colours into. And I think you can't beat a little white tree. I'm just going to check Pat's not holding up a board for me. No, she's not. So there we go. So you can start to see that's very quickly now coming together. There we go. So keep it going right the way round as the strawberry very slowly begins to disappear. Actually, I have to be honest, if we do this at Christmas, no, when we do this at Christmas, because I've said we will, the chances are the strawberries aren't going to make it into the centre of any cupcake at all. They'll just all get eaten. But it's a great idea, and like I say, you know, you might not want too much sweet stuff, so it's a way of making sure you're being a bit healthy at Christmas time as well. Now we're actually going to pop some balls onto the end of there, just some silver pearls, just to add in a little bit of festive fun on there. But also we're going to add in a little bit of that lovely lustre that we like so much. And there is another shout out there. And while Pat's doing that, I'm just going to carry on piping around my strawberry. There we go.
Does it keep piping?
Keep piping.
Keep piping. So Paula,
yes,
you've got hellos from Alan Dunn.
Oh, hello, Alan. It's the buttercream. He likes that one, doesn't he?
And also from Carol May.
Oh, hello, Carol. Great. That's really lovely.
And just to let you know that you've got a lot of people watching, so you better keep piping.
Oh, I'm keeping piping. And I'm nearly at the top of my tree now. I'm feeling quite tired now, but nearly at the top. So there we are. And we're going to be putting a little pearl on the top so it just looks like a little star. There we go. And last one onto the top. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to pull that one up a little bit. There we go. And bring in some of those little pearls ready. But first of all, I did promise a little bit of lustre on there. Unfortunately, Silvio is in the line of fire, but not to worry. He's going to be twinkling. Guess what? There's another shout out. I'm just going to spray this while Pat comes round. There we go. Look at that. That's a little bit of gold on there now. That looks good, actually. I like that. There we go.
So Paula, here's another name that you're going to know and recognise.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
Yeah. So, Sheila Lampkin.
Oh, hello, Sheila.
Hi.
Hi, lovely to hear from you.
And just to let you know, there's a lot of people saying that they love the decorations.
Oh, that's really nice. You see, well, we did say, Pat, that we were going to be festive, so we did need to be, really, didn't we? Make the effort, etc. So there you go. So I'm not going to stick all of these on there, but you can kind of see the type of thing that you can do. And if you really want to, just add in some little sparkles. But you can imagine these either cupcakes all on their own or on the middle of the cake for yourselves as well. So it's all looking really, really good. Don't know where you would like that one, Sylvia. I might just drop that one down there. Is that okay? Pat's back again. She's got her board. I'm so pleased we wrote that board, Pat, to be honest.
So here's a special one for you, Paula.
Righty-ho.
This is Hi from Dana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. From Venezuela.
Oh, wow, that really is
who's
international. Great.
Also done her PME Masters.
Oh, fantastic. Well, congratulations. That's really, really good to know. And if you are somebody, again, just like Donna, that's taken the diplomas and you've got your master, contact us, say hello. If you're a trade customer who's offering courses, there could very well be people at the moment that are tuned in that would really like to know where you are so that they can access your location so they can actually take the diplomas as well. So don't be afraid to get in touch. Okay, so we're just going to look now at piping some very simple little flowers. We're just going to do some of these little poinsettias. Going to add in a few leaves as well and some pearls just to suit into the centre there as well. Again, just very quick, simple ideas that you can add on to the biscuits if that's what you want to do. So a little bit of leaf going on there and a little bit of leaf work standing up there. And then we're going to look at using what's the 352 tube. I'm just going to make sure that's actually coming out the way that it needs to. And that's the sharp pointy one. That's the one that I will stab myself on, to be honest, because it is quite vicious in that respect. So always make sure you keep your tools where you need to. And again, I'm just adding, you're using this in raw icing. So just to get that going. Sylvia's getting very close in there. So that's 2 and 3 and 4, you can count along if you want to, and 5, and then we're just going to go round quickly in between those 2 petals and just do some smaller little petals around about. We're still going to do the same 5 as well, so there we go. Give it a little turn, excuse me. There we go. And you could be doing this in white as well. I actually added just some red velvet dust powder into there, just to give it that nice, deep, rich colour. So just into the middle there, we're just going to drop one of these large pearls, just to squash that in and finish that off as well. So you can add in some more on there. You could do them on smaller biscuits if you wanted to. I'm just going to keep with that one on there so that we can kind of push forwards with everything that we need to. But I'm just going to make out with my holly there that that's got some little berries just stuck into the side there as well. There we go. So a little something extra onto there as well. So pop that one there. Again, if you need to know what the tubes are, we've got them lined up across the front here as well. And you can use them in different sizes so that you can get that. Pat's back again. She's got another shout out ready. Go for it, Pat. Here she comes. She's running. She is running. Trust me, she's running.
Whose idea was it that I sat at the back?
I think that could have been yours, actually.
So, Paula,
Yes.
This is from Cheryl Jackson.
Hello, Cheryl.
And she's also got her PME Masters
Wow, that's
that
brilliant.
she's looking to add to her CV.
Okay.
Because she feels it's going to help her with the job. And she also says she loves the poinsettia, so effective.
That's good. So she'll be doing this Christmas Eve, hopefully. That'll be ready for Christmas Day. That's great. Well, we're really pleased that this is helping or that you're finding it useful, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is so that somebody out there can actually make good use of any hints or tips that we're offering and suggesting. And especially when things get so busy these days. I mean, I just really struggle a lot of the time. I'm always saying I'm going to do this, that, the other, and then I never do. So I've just rolled out some sugar paste, nice and fresh. You can see not very much of it because I'm not going to do a great big stretch. And I'm just actually going to be using a simple gem, as you can see there, stencil. It's very pretty, very much a tree theme going on today, I have to admit, as you can see, and wreath, etc. So we're not changing things there. Just going to lay it across the paste, and I'm just going to roll across that just to kind of push the stencil into that soft paste. I like to give it a little polish as well, just because I like to do that, really. That's the only reason for that. And then I'm going to kind of centralise or find an area that I'd really like to use just to cut out with. So I'm going to go with that circle there. I'm only going to do one, and I'm actually going to combine both my dusts on one and the brush and fine pen on the other. And don't forget, this is actually onto what we call fresh rolled out wet paste. And it wouldn't be the same if I didn't include my favourite petal base. So before I add my dust onto this tree here, I'm actually just going to rub a little bit of my petal base onto there. And as I did mention last time, I have also now started using a little pot of lip balm that my daughter got for me, as well as petal base in my bag, obviously. But make sure you have more than one available always. One for your kits with your flowers, etc., and one for your handbag always. Okay, so a little bit of dust. We're going to keep with a bluey kind of theme over onto this tree here. It's like I'm saying, we're doing a combination of the both here. And I'm going to put a little bit of pearl on one side. I can actually see where I've got that petal base quite easily. I don't know if Silvio can see quite so easily. That's just helping that to stick and glue into position. A few of those. So we've got some white snow, and then I'm just going to add in twinkle blue, and that's just going to go along that side there. So you can really see that attaching there, and if Silvio needs to, he'll kind of like move around a little bit. And I'll lift it up shortly so that you can have a really good look at that. And then once I've done that tree, which I have, I'm going to bring in my brush and fine pens. Now these are the pens that are great for using on fresh paste. So I'm going to start by adding a blue, and I'm going to use that lovely brush end that you can see just there. And I'm just going to lightly across the paste. Can you see that? Just very lightly across there. And that will colour that beautifully for me. I'm going to add in some blue down at the bottom a little bit later on as well, but I'm just going to swap in and find a green that I want to use. I'm going to use all of them, but I'm just making sure that I've got the right colour first of all. Now if you want to, you can just stick with one colour, but it is nice to kind of blend the colours. But you can see that pen is just going straight over that very wet paste without any problem whatsoever. Just going to include another tree here onto the side, just so that I've got enough for my biscuit to go on. Just add a little bit more of that edge there. Might need to do a few more snowflakes as well. There we go, so that's those done. And pop the lid back on. And a little bit of extra colour. I'm just going to do the edges just a little bit onto there. Same thing across there. So just catching where the snow would go. Ooh, back onto there so we don't dry those out. Now these are refillable as well. So if you need to, you can get a good 4, maybe even 5 refills out of these. I think we tend to use them forever and ever, to be honest. And we do use them a lot. But they're great. You've also got the other end as well, which is just a much firmer end. So if you want to kind of dot eyes, that type of thing. Sorry, Silvio, did you see that? All okay? As I whisked it away. And then I'm just going to blend a little bit. So if I just brush that along. That just goes off to the paste and just smooths that in. There we go. So this is that point in time where I could stay for ages and I would spend a long time just colouring. And Pat's looking at me because Pat's thinking, Paula, you're not going to play. But I've had a little go, so I feel happy now. I've had my playtime. So I'm just going to peel this away and that will reveal our trees. And I'll lift it up for you, Silvio, so you can see the lustre on there. That's the luster dust, that's the pearl and the twinkle blue that's on there as well. And then we can cut that out and we can add that onto our biscuit. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of blue just at the bottom, give it a little twist, and that's ready to go onto a cupcake. Let's put it onto a cupcake, yes. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue onto there. Across there. There we go, don't need very much, just a little bit of edible glue. And I'm going to drop that onto there. Now that's really quick and simple. Now isn't that great? That's something that the children, grandchildren, as well as the adults would absolutely love to do. I think that's brilliant. So I think that's what I'd like to be doing, maybe I think Christmas Eve. So just going to add in a little bit of blue just across the top, a little bit of shade. There we go. Just so it finishes it off just a little bit. And then you can blend that if you want to. But very quick, very simple, great for muffins, tops of the cake, around the cake with this stencil because it can go around the outside as well, biscuits, all that type of thing. So lovely, simple, quick idea as well. I'm actually going to maybe pop some of these just up here and then every now and then Silvio can hop back to those. So don't forget to like and comment, contact us if you want to, ask us any questions too. But it is great to know that so many people are kind of tuning in and watching and getting some ideas for Christmas as well. It's really good to know. So another very simple, quick idea that can be done. Sometimes you can use the end of the rolling pin, or we're going to actually just use a pop stick just to create a simple tree that you can then just keep on the stick itself, pop it into a cake or into a cupcake, or into the log actually. If you've got your Christmas logs, you can just add them into that, just push them straight in. So just ordinary sugar paste, that's all we're using, but you could be using marzipan. Marzipan we could be going with, or candy, modelling candy, my favourite, I do love that. So there's lots of different options here. So just rolling that so that we haven't got any creases onto it, and then just rolling that into a tree shape, which we've then got. And that's then ready to pop onto our pop stick. And that's just going to go straight into there. Not going to worry about any glue or anything like that. And there we are, we're ready to roll. And all I'm going to actually do is just snip with a pair of scissors, just small-ended scissors, and I'm just going to snip at the base and flick a little bit. Now you don't have to worry too much about flicking if you don't want to, because we can go round afterwards with a brush and just flick those areas up. Then I'm going to go in between the cuts just so that they're not too much in line, and just keep snipping all the way round. And obviously you can kind of go a little bit slower when you're at home, just to perfect. So Silvio, what are you going to be doing Christmas Eve? Which of these ideas so far? It's no good smiling. He's smiling at me. Now he's laughing. I think, oh dear, I think I've put you off, haven't I, Sylvia? I'm so sorry. He's going to eat. He's going to eat them all, I think. There we go. So we're nearly at the top. It's quite hard work, this, really, isn't it? And there we go. So don't snip off the end, obviously. Now, if you want to, you can use your brush, and I'm just going to use the one that I've been using earlier, and just lift the little branches of our little Christmas tree up. There we go. And that means to say that then when we add some spray, some lustre in a minute, that's going to give it a nice little sheen. There you go, look, nice and simple. Again, this is nice and safe then. If the grandchildren want to participate, they can just use some safe round-ended scissors as well. As long as they're foodie ones, then you're okay. There we go. So that's ready to add a little bit of lustre on too. So which colour should we go for this time? I think I've got a bronze ready, so I'm going to add a bit of bronze on. Watch out. I've got my spray handle on, only because it's just a little bit easier. I better put something down on the work surface first of all, though, hadn't I? Because I'll get into a huge mess, and we know what happens with me and my sprays. So there we go. Oh wow, look at that. Sorry about that, Sylvia. I think I may have got Sylvia then. I'm sorry. So there we go. So you can see that's really pretty. I'll just give that a little twist, and hopefully the light's catching it for me really, really well, so you can just see. Now that can stay on there. We can just transfer that onto a biscuit or onto the top of a mince pie, perhaps. So that would just pull straight off and secure that in place if that's what you want to do. And then you can add in your other sprinkles. Again, you can just pop something onto the very top if you want to. We'll just pop a little something to represent. Ooh, there we go. I was trying not to get anything on my fingers then, but I think I'm absolutely covered in spray now. There we go. So that's another quick, simple little idea for Christmas. Now, another one of my favourites, because I have to admit all of these are my favourites. I love each and every one of these things that we're looking at today, are these little scroll trees. Now, they're absolutely wonderful. So Silvio's got some that are just standing up over there at the moment. So I'm going to, while Silvio's showing you that, I'm just going to get myself organised over here. There we go. Lose my tree there. So I'm actually now swapping. I've been using sugar paste, but now I'm swapping over to gum paste. So I'll just swing this round here. And this little tree is lovely. I love Gem products anyway. And talking of Gem products, as far as I know, over in South Africa, hello to everybody in South Africa at Gem. All the ladies and gents over there have been having their Christmas party. So hopefully you've had an absolutely fantastic time. And hello from everybody all over. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year when it happens. So, happy partying. So, here we go now. So, Gem scroll tree cutter in there. Now, there's more than one type of these, but I thought this one's particularly pretty. And I've coloured up my paste in blue so that you can see it very easily as well. I'm going to add in a little bit of my favourite petal base, just to make sure that that paste sits in there nice and easily, and then it also lifts out for me when I need it to. She says, fingers crossed, because I have rolled this paste out and it's been sitting here for a little while. And I'm just going to lay that over the top. I'm going to move my ready done tray, just give it a little push so it doesn't disappear. And I'm just going to roll towards Silvio now, and then I'm going to roll towards myself. So I just go from the middle backwards and forwards. That just makes life that much easier. And you can kind of see slightly that indent just around about there. And I'm just going to define all the way around the outside edge. Now you can use the edge of your finger to do this if you want to, but I actually think it's just much better to actually run round just with the ball tool. And then it's so much easier to just kind of get the paste where you need it to be, and it just keeps your fingers away really. It's just much more hygienic. So if I push onto there, you can then see that definition of that pretty little design. So I'm going to do this all the way around the cutter. If I swap to the small end, you'll probably be able to see it a little bit easier as we go through. There we go. And that just means to say that I can then remove these sections as I go. Now, if you've rolled your paste out a little bit thick, you'll find it quite tricky to be able to do this. There's a little section there. I think I could have gone a little bit thinner if I'm absolutely honest, but hey ho, not to worry. That's probably because I was chatting before we were doing what we were meant to do, although that bit's already out. Look, there you go. You can start to see where those nice little pretty designs come out. Have to admit, Pat's gone very quiet over there in the corner. Oh, she's not in the corner. There she is. I can see she's on the move. Pat's been on the move. She's been on the move. Sounds like you're racing when they say hare's on the move. I'm not comparing you to a hare, Pat. I've just realised how that probably sounded. Oh dear. Oh, how we laughed. So you can see that's coming through now. And I'm not playing, I'm just kind of enjoying the therapeutic, making sure that all those little bits and pieces are out from the cutter. And I want it to lift out nicely, so I'm just going to go back round. I've got my scriber ready just to make sure that everything lifts out how I need it to as well, so just hold that bit down there. And if you see there's any areas that look like they could kind of be gone back over again, then do so. These are very pretty, so if you think, oh, you know, I'll hang on to those. They could be extra little decorations on your cake, etc. That just then hips out from there. So this is what we tend to use. We don't use pins or anything. So scriber tool, invaluable, just to give you that easy, safe way of removing bits and pieces. There you go. And that's that last section out. So I'm just going to make sure that the outside edge is where it needs to be. And then up at the top, just pull those excess paste away, so just lever along, just loosen that at the bottom and again at the top, and then that just flips out and we've got our lovely little Christmas tree, which is so easy to do. Let me turn it round for you so you can actually see, and that's ready then to add some luster onto that as well. I think Pat may have a shout out as well. She's going for it again. Who have we got this time, Pat?
Oh, we got a few.
Oh, you've been gathering.
I've been gathering. Sorry, you were concentrating.
No, that's fine. Thank
and they're
you for
absolutely loving what you're doing. So
that's really good.
So
Brilliant.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, thank you.
So here we go. Laura Bryan. She says, hi ladies, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you.
And Anna Lundberg, hello from Sweden.
Hello, Sweden. Hello, Anna, and everybody in Sweden.
And Ina Rodriguez, and she says, I'll do that on my Christmas birthday. Hi to you all from the Philippines.
Oh, great. Hello to the Philippines. That's wonderful.
So I'm going to move out the way because to say they're absolutely loving what you're doing.
Oh, that's really, really great to know. That's wonderful. Well, hopefully they're going to like the next bit as well. I'm just first of all going to add this little Christmas tree. We've just popped a little bit of spray onto our tree. It's blue, so I thought a little bit of that Christmas red luster would just look great on there. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of an indent here. Now we could have a whole series of trees, so if I add in, hopefully they'll still fit in. A little bit of luster could actually go onto our biscuit as well, but I'm just going to keep it as it is. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue, not too much, just into that area there, ready, and slide that. So this is the tree that was dried. So if you're doing these, just leave them overnight and that should be enough. So that's our first tree in. And if you wanted to, you could then add in a second tree. And again, this one's dried. You could add in different pearls on here as well, different colours. And then you've got a whole forest of trees. So you could do this onto your Christmas cakes, again, onto your Christmas logs, anything like that at all. But it just gives you that chance to do something quick, simple and easy. Not difficult, just a case of making sure that you've got those few bits and pieces, roller pad, cutter, some paste, make sure it's gum paste. I've been using without egg gum paste, which I find is absolutely great to work with, certainly for my hands. A nice and thin, so not too thick, and then you're able to get great results with that too. So then we're going to look at a little drunken Santa that I'm going to look at putting together. I'm going to pop him on a biscuit because that might be, I think, a little bit easier. So I'm going to grab some paste. I might even pop him on a turntable just so that I can spin him around perhaps, or just to see if it's going to be a good height or not. So he's going to be drunken. He's had one too many sherries, I'm afraid to say, or whiskies, or wines, or whatever it is Santa tends to have. Now, I am just using ordinary sugar paste, so I'm not turning it into modelling paste, but again, this could be coloured marzipan, or it could be your candy paste as well, which is always good. So just roll that into a ball so you haven't got any creases, and then just into a little bit of a triangle. And at this point in time, I'm just going to pop the biscuit in and pop the body in position like so. So he's going to go all over the place. I'm going to add in some legs as well. Again, just roll them into a ball and into a little bit of a sausage. And I'm just going to chop that in half. So I'm also going to work down there, Sylvia, if that's okay with you. Like this. Again, this is all very simple and quick. We're not going to spend very long on this at all. And he's going to kind of... This is just the first part, so this is before his boots actually go on. And again, just for his arms. So one bigger bit. Going to roll it into a ball and then into that sausage again. So again, make sure you haven't got any creases. But it's nice and quick and simple. So because of how he is, you don't have to worry about doing this in a modelling paste. Just going to lengthen his arm just a little bit. And that narrow bit, I'm just going to pop up at the top there. So he's just kind of sitting there like that. Again, just lengthen the other arm a little bit for him, and he's going to sit like so. Right way round would help. There we go. This Santa's not as drunk as the other Santa. And then we're going to add some boots and some gloves as well. And I think there's another shout out. I can see Pat's using those boards well today. They're working well for you.
We've got a little group again.
Oh, lovely.
Now, I'm sorry, Julie, because I'm never going to pronounce your name right.
Oh.
And Julie's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Hello, Julie from Pennsylvania.
And it's Julie Weldon Eichhorch.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Julie. I know that wasn't right. And also Michelle Stevenson. She says, hi, this is the first time that she's watching.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's really good. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We really like that, don't we? It's great to know you're there.
And also Deborah Hayes. She says, wow, children will love making the Christmas biscuits.
Yep, I'm sure they will do. I think a lot of adults will as well, to be honest. So I've just made some little hands, just two little ovals, and I've just taken out two triangles just to make a very simple little gloved hand, so nothing too difficult involved there. And then just shape them a little bit. We're going to have some feathered bits going over there, so we're not really too bothered about them being too neat at this point, because it's going to be only quick and simple. Remember, it's Christmas Eve. You haven't got a lot of time. Will you be able to see his hand on there, okay, Sylvia, if I twist that round? Thumbs to the inside, remember. There we go. If I just pop that there like that. And then we're going to look at creating his little boots. So again, this is all just sugar paste that I'm working with, so quick, simple. It could be your marzipan, because everybody's going to have loads of marzipan hanging around. Well, unless you're in my house, and I'd have eaten it by now anyway. So I do love marzipan. I think it's great. So roll that into a ball, then into a sausage, and then just divide that in half. I'm just using a blade tool because it's nice and quick and simple. And then I'm just going to use a finger just to kind of about a third of the way create a little bit of an indent, and that's going to be his foot. So just elongate this out a little bit. Same thing again, about a third of the way, just to create his little foot. I think he might have one leg and one foot bigger than the other at the moment, but I'm not really too bothered. L shape, another shout out. So we'll do another shout out while I'm just doing his little foot and his little boot. There we go, into an L shape, and there's his little feet. There we go.
We okay?
Oh, yes, we're good, Pat. You're fine. Pat's being very careful. We had a discussion, didn't we, to make sure that I was in a good place for her to do these shout-outs and questions. And it's working quite well so far.
So far.
So far, so good.
So I've got another little collection for you, Paula.
Oh, great.
And this one comes with a little Christmas tree and a lovely little Santa.
Oh, wow.
And this is from Sue Peters, and she says hi from Gosport.
Hello, Gosport.
And Alison Lee Brown, she says hi from Staffordshire.
Oh, wow, this is really good.
And then we have Katie Jane Andrew Hydale. I'm sorry, Katie, I'm sure I've messed that one up. and she says, hi from Wigan. These are fab. My children will love doing these. And she's even sent you a kiss.
Oh, that's really nice. Kisses back, thank you. It's really nice now, and I think everybody's obviously really festive as well at the moment, which is really, really good. And enjoying themselves, getting ready. I'm actually not really that organised, I have to admit, for Christmas. So he's just got his little head going on. I'm just going to squash his body down a little bit now. I'm going to save his little nose for in a minute's time. And now I'm just going to pop a little hat on him. And if I'm honest, I can't really see what he's looking like. Oh, yes. He's not as drunk. I think we've got a question. I had to think. I didn't know what that board said, but there we go. So just into a little cone, and there we go.
So while you're doing that,
Yep.
Paula, this is from Sue Peters, so I'm assuming it's Sue from Gosport that we spoke to
lovely.
earlier. And she says, my modelling paste sticks in my moulds. What can I do to stop this?
Okay, well, it could be just to add in a little bit of icing sugar or a little bit of corn flour, or it could be just change the consistency of the modelling paste before you're actually working in it. Sometimes we find petal base is very good because it's a release agent, but again, it depends on what sort of mixture you're actually using. But just check that the consistency is what you need it to be. Could be a case of just firming that up just a little tiny bit more. Maybe even leaving it to set in there for a couple of minutes, not for too long, but just to kind of let it settle. If you're kind of kneading it, if you've got very hot hands, try to keep it to a minimum as well. That should help you too. So I've just kind of roughly rolled out some white paste here, and it doesn't matter if it's got finger kind of indents in it because that just lends itself to that feathery look. And I'm just going to use the sharp end of my petal and leaf veiner, and I'm just going to drag that through the paste and over off the edge, just so that I get this lovely feathered look just running across the side of the paste. So come down the centre and just off to the edge, and that's actually going to be for his boots. So I'm just going to chop it into the centre there. Now this is actually quite soft, so I'm not even going to worry about any glue on Santa, and that's going to wrap around his little boot quite nicely. Just give that a little bit of movement, and the same thing the other side as well. So that's across one top of his boots. And we've got another shout out. I think everybody's got all their Christmas shopping done, haven't they? Because they're watching us, which is really great. It's really, really good to know so many people have tuned in to watch us. That's brilliant.
This one needs a little bit of love, Paula.
Oh, okay.
Because this is from Sophie Michelle Loveland.
Okay.
And she says, it's my first time watching too.
Yep. Oh, great.
And
Thank you for watching.
while I'm in bed poorly, and she's got a sad face.
Oh, no.
I'd love to make something Christmassy.
Oh.
And then we have Judy Frayson, and she says, hi from Saskatchewan in Canada.
Oh, wow.
So we're certainly travelling the
We
world.
certainly are, Pat, from everywhere. Well, we've always
And-
said very international and global.
And then Vanda Pontiac Bevan, she says,
Ooh.
hi ladies, Merry Christmas, loving the live show from Swansea in the UK.
Oh, brilliant.
And
That's
again,
really
we've
great.
got a Father Christmas and a Christmas tree.
Yay! I do feel Christmassy now, Pat.
And we've got another international one. And we're heading over to Alex's country. We're going to Brazil.
Brazil. Oh.
Yes. Alex is our graphic designer, and he comes from Brazil.
Yeah.
And this is Adriana Cavello, and she says, hello from Brazil.
Hello, Brazil. That's great. Wow. I think it's so good, and it makes us so happy to know that there's so many people tuning in from all over, all in with a chance to win that competition as well. 6 sets of the colouring sheets for one person, and a set of each of the bold pens and bright pens, which is going to be after Facebook Live finishes, which will be sad. It's been really, really good, but we're not finished yet. And we're just now adding on to Santa around his hat. I just need to check that I've got it correct, which I have. He's got a lot of feather on there, and I think we've got a little question coming through as well while I'm just adding on his feathery bits and his bobble on his hat.
Okay, Paula, yes, you're quite right. It is a question. This is Judy Frayson, and she says, do you buy the paste in those colours? So I think she means the sugar paste.
Yep, our sugar paste,
Or do you
yes.
colour it yourself?
This is our coloured sugar paste, so I haven't had to worry about colouring this up. We actually colour this ourselves, and we actually use our concentrate paste colours to use that. So it's our PME concentrate colours, so that you know exactly what colour you'll get each time you're working with it. And as you can see, it's great for doing a little bit of modelling with. So just squashing into that. There we go. And we make sure that obviously this isn't going to fade or anything like that. So you know that the colour you put in is the colour that you're actually going to get. And another little question, I think, on the way there as well. So I'm just feathering his beard at the moment while we're doing this. There we go.
So yes, you're right, Paula. It is another question, and this is from Audrey Stepulis, and basically she says, what sort of paste are you using?
Ooh.
Modelling or covering paste?
Just a covering paste, just the sugar paste. So we haven't added anything into this, so it is nice and soft and simple. But for Drunk Santas, that works really well, to be honest. Just going to add in a little bit of a hole into there, and that's going to be for his little nose in a short while. Just got his little moustache on the go. So just a little kind of, there we go, little bit of a worm going on there. Just going to add that in there, like so. Just going to use the end of the tool just to push it up a little bit, like that. It is only soft, so I'm not actually even using any glue. It doesn't want to stick now because I've said that. Oh, I've dropped it. I am going to use a bit of glue. I've been doing very well, actually. I haven't needed any glue, so I'm just going to, just for his little moustache, which has fallen off to the side now. So let me just grab that off. There he goes. Stick it in there. And then I'm just going to add in a little bit for his nose to sit into. There we go. And then I'm going to pull his little moustache down, just so that it's sitting, there he goes, above his little nose. There we go. That's it. And then he's a bit shocked because he's just fallen over, as you can see. So, oh, there we go. That's his little mouth there. So that's a very drunk Santa, I think, just sitting there at the moment. Like I say, one too many sherries. How we all look on Christmas Day. So there he goes. We just need to cover that over because he can't see. He's not meant to see because he's kind of ski-whiff there with his little face. Now, I'm going to leave him there. I'm not going to try and move him at the moment. But what we're going to do is we're just going to also give you some final little ideas for finishing off with. Now, we've got some strawberries that have kind of been dipped, but we've also got some lovely walnut whips sitting here as well. So even if you really, really haven't got any time, just like me, Christmas Eve, and I'm thinking, well, I feel really guilty because I didn't do all those things I said I was going to do. I didn't make the Christmas cake, I didn't make the log, and I didn't make cupcakes either. At least I can bring in some walnut whips, maybe some strawberries that I did manage to dip, and I can actually get those sprayed with a whole array of different colours. So I've got some gold going on. I'm just going to turn them round and spray the non-coloured side so we can get a whole array of different lustres going on here. I'm going to give it a good shake. And there's nothing more Christmassy than a little bit of lustre. Silvio's moved out of the way there, quite specifically this time, so he doesn't get any spray. I'm not bothered. I'm just going to hold on to this. And just going to add in a little bit of lustre. So look at that, you can see. And that walnut on the top is looking really lovely. Look at the colour on that walnut whip there. And then I'm going to pop that one over that side. And a different colour now as well. I think this is the last thing we're doing, so I don't mind if I end up covered in these things. You see, turning round, do the other side. Don't forget the walnut on the top, so just build the colour up. So a little bit, then a little bit more. And then that starts to intensify the colour. And a little bit of the red. Where's the red gone? There we go. Just going to turn that round the other way. So I'll hold this one as well. and they all blend really well together, and they're great on sponge as well. So if you just want to spray your Christmas logs up or your cupcakes, you haven't got time for anything else, that works really well on there. And don't forget these strawberries as well. So look, a little bit of colour just sheen onto there, and how easy and quick and simple is that. So you've got a variety of different ones that you can kind of add some different colours in onto there. Look at that. So all different colours coming together there. So at least when it comes to it, you can kind of come up with something quick and simple. I'll have a bone to pick with Silvio though, because earlier on I was thinking, I'm sure I'm missing a strawberry. Was that you, Silvio? Was that you that took that bite out of that strawberry? He's laughing. I do believe he's nibbled the strawberries. Silvio, what are you like? It's either you or Pat. Anyhow, that just leaves us to say a huge thank you. So don't forget, keep liking and commenting. A huge thank you to all of you for coming to see us for Festive Fun at PME. We really, really appreciate sharing time with you right now. One last chance to just like, comment, so you can enter the competition, which will be going up at some point, if it hasn't already, because I can't see it. I think 3 o'clock, Pat's just let me know that that will be coming up, so you can win all of those lovely colourings that Silvio's showing you, and 2 sets of those wonderful pens to go with it. One bright and one bold as well. So from Silvio, from Pat, Drunk Santa, PME and myself, have an absolutely wonderful Christmas, a very happy New Year, and we will see you in the new year. So ho 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 and have fun. Bye.